Alright, what's up YouTube? So today we are changing the oil on the Ford Raptor. We got our T40 bit for removing the skid plate, 10 mil for removing more bolts on the skid plate, and we got Mobile 15W30 and a new oil filter. So first things first, get the engine running, warmed up a little bit, get that oil warm so it comes out easy and you get it all. We got our little mat under here. It's just like a cushion mat. Just makes it more comfortable underneath there. So I'm gonna shut the vehicle off and we'll get started. And just so there's a little better flow here. Oh, going to pull the oil fill cap off so we can let for better flow. All right, so start pulling our skid plate off. All right, so this is the skid plate you want to remove right here. I kind of just let that one out a little bit, just so we have like a good access point. And you can tell it's kind of like, it's almost designed so they would do that, but I don't know if it actually is. So just so I don't roll around here and lose these, I'm gonna put these back up here. And then we should have access to our plastic oil bowl. Yay! I'm gonna grab the oil pan and let's see if we can get some flow going here. There we go. All right. Oil drip pan here. Oh, there we go. I just kind of guide the pan underneath the angle as it changes. With the amount that comes out, there's less momentum. All right, so we got that out. Oil is draining. We'll let that sit and drain there for a little bit. We got an oil pan directly over, so hopefully no spills. It seems like no matter what I do, there's always a process where I'm cleaning up oil. Next thing, we got to remove this skid plate here to access our oil filter. And this is the T40. And I kind of take it easy on these because they're like a this T-bolt, and if you go too hard, it'll strip it. Like, I don't know, it's just a huge pain if you do strip it to get these out. So I try to take it easy. Alright, now we have that plate out of the way, and this is the fun part. I'll get a light so you guys can see. The oil filter is right there. That's it, the black cap. So you gotta like reach in there and turn it to remove it. And then this plate right here is a angled plate to let the oil that you spill fall on this little channel in which it comes out right here. So once we're done letting it completely drain over there, we'll put the cap in, put the plate back on, and then move the oil pan underneath here. Alright, so I think we're looking pretty decent over here. A little bit left. I think we'll be alright. So I'm going to take my plastic bolt, turn it in. I think it's in a clockwise position. Righty tighty. Yep. And you'll feel it grab in and lock. Just put it in and twist to the right. Alright, and then we'll remove these bolts that we didn't want to lose. Started. Actually, you know what? It's a good practice to check this cap and make sure it's not leaking once you fill it up full of oil. So we'll wait to put that plate back on. I'm actually going to take a plastic rag, or not a plastic rag, a paper rag, paper towel, and wipe it off. So we have a clean pan right there. And then once we get it full of new oil, we'll come back, make sure it's not leaking, and then tighten up that plate. So now we'll move the strip pan right below the drip point right here, and we will start removing our filter. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. There's this like rubber one where you adjust it and then put tension on it and it will grab and turn it. It works pretty well. Let's see what else I got here. Thought I had another one. There's another one that I like to use. Well, maybe that's the only one I have. But there's another one that's just like a solid plastic, and it like comes right there, and it just like a little C, and it'll grab and bite and turn as you go. But this is the new garage setup, so I may have lost it in transition between moving, and I thought it was pretty decent at getting everything organized and set up, but maybe there's a couple things that's still packed somewhere. So we'll just use this one for now. So here's a good example actually. So just put it on there, tighten that, and then turn that handle and it'll get tight, and then you can just see it just moves like that. And then you can release it back, move over, pull it, and tighten or loosen it. So not too bad. All right, let's get this off. So I did happen to find it. Here's my other two. So we have this, wow, this thing that just clamps on and turns, and then this one too. I think this is one I usually use. All right, that was way too much work to get that off, but we got it. Not in the greatest position, but we got it. So the filter sits in there like this. It's at 180 degrees. So I like to put just a little bit of oil in here, just so it's not completely dry. take a little and run it around the gasket. I'm going to make sure this gasket, this O-ring here, came off with the other one, so we're not stacking two. And yeah, I can see it's on the old one, so we're good to go. Alright, so we'll hand tighten this in, which is always fun because you gotta kind of find it and then turn it on to the threads. Which the oil goes through. Alright, just hand tight. And wipe it off. Get her hand tight, wipe it off. And then we'll use one of these and go about half a turn. Okay, so we got our plug back in, our filter on. Now we'll put some oil in. And I have one of these, which I use. I just cut an older one of these off, the bottom off. I just keep that in there to collect residue. But I'll set this right in the hole. Fits perfectly. And then I'll start pouring oil. This is 6 quarts. Alright, so we'll pour the remaining of this one. And then this 5 quarts. So now we can take our oil fill cap, put it back on, screw it in there, and it should seat nice and tight. And it's a channel plug, so you got to find the right channels on each end of the plug, get it lined up, and then twist. Okay, so we got our oil in. I try not to step on that, but sometimes it's just easier than going to get a ladder. All right, we'll get these put away. And you can see where the oil is dripping out right there from the oil runoff of pulling out the filter. I'll show you from the view of the top where it is. So you can see right down there, there's our new filter, and it's screwed on there basically 180 degrees. So it's fun trying to get it screwed on without like looking at it at all. You just kind of got to stick your hand up in there and feel the threads and then start turning. So it takes a little bit to get used to your first couple of times, but after you do it a couple times, you kind of figure out where that spot is. So now we'll get rid of our old oil. And that is the result of me trying to pull this filter off. Normally should not be that hard. For some reason this was extremely hard. And there's the original O-ring for this filter. You want to make sure that doesn't stay on the truck. Make sure it comes off. It's only designed to have one gasket. So yeah, that was a pain in the butt. Normally a super easy process, and it just unscrews without that much effort. So what I like to do is take my used oil, pour it back in these containers so I can get it out of my drip pan here. We got our old oil in there, ready to be properly disposed of. We can pull out our old oil mat. Well, actually, let's make sure no oil is leaked in any of our spots. So I'm just gonna kind of fill underneath my filter, make sure there's no oil leaking underneath there. We are good, so we can put this plate back on. Put a bolt circuit here. Sometimes these bolt clips, these little clip nuts, will get out of alignment, so And take a screwdriver and get them realigned again. Alright. Go ahead and tighten this up. We'll move over to our 10 mil spot and get this plate put back on. Assuming there's no oil leaking. Right. Looks pretty solid. Okay. Yeah.
You forgot to come in.
Okay. I thought you could get me. Alright, now that that pan plate is on. Alright, so now we got both of our plates on. Now we can check our oil. Go from there. Okay, so it's been sitting for a while, a little bit, and we're gonna check the oil. So, just going to set it here somewhere. Grab the yellow dipstick handle. Just for good measure. One more time. And yeah, you can see is right there with intolerance. So I don't know if you guys could see that, but you can go out in the light a little bit. I don't know if that's better. So she's got good oil. So we'll go ahead and put the dipstick back in and start it up and look for leaks. Alright, so now we can reset the oil life in the truck. So you go to truck info. Oh, you're there. My engine, or engine information. And then press OK to reset. So we are resetting. All right, now we are back at 100%. And just for my own, I like to go to trip 1 and reset it. So that's how I keep track of how many miles I have until my next oil change. And then trip 2 is my tire rotation. Alright, so that's pretty much going to do it for this video. Got the oil changed, checked out good, filter change, reset it in the vehicle. Like and subscribe. Thanks.